Hello, beautiful people of the internet. My name is Ryan. Welcome back to the Forgotten City and a brand new time loop, ? Welcome back. This is episode 3 of our blind playthrough of the Forgotten City. Yes, I have not had time to shave today. I promise that I'm clean. I showered. Not that it matters to you watching this over a computer screen, but listen, we have a newborn daughter at home, and that means that sometimes I don't have time to shave. So I'm looking scruffy today. And also, I'm a little sleep-deprived, but we're going to put our sleep-deprived brain back to work. So, where to even begin? At the end of the last episode, this game leveled up in a way, and we've arrived back where we started at the shrine after Desius sent us back in time. Main goal completed, run. This was the goal that sent us back, like I said, back to the shrine and back here. I have a lot that I would like to get done, but I also have in this time loop, but I also have a lot of questions, like how are the characters going to greet me? How is the game going to be any different on this run through? We were here an hour and a half ago or whatever it was. And now I want to see if there are any differences. So let's go talk to, Galerius.
Salve, friend. I'm Galerius. Mind telling me who you are and what you were doing in the Shrine of Proserpina?
I'm little indigestion, and we've had this conversation before.
I don't think so. I've never seen you before in my life.
Your name is Galerius. You're about to offer to take me to see Desius so that he can tell me about the Golden Rule.
Oh, I guess how much did I drink last night? Sorry to have bothered you.
No problem. I have to go.
Oh, and since you seem to be in a hurry, you should try out this device I made. Worked real hard on it.
Is it a gun? A zipline handlebar? That's not a gun. A zipline handlebar. A rudimentary wooden zipline handlebar. What if I showed you my flashlight? How would you react to the piece of technology that I hold in my hand? I didn't try that last time. Interesting. So there's a zip line somewhere here.
Just attach the pulley to the rope over the lake and hang on to the handles. If it works, it'll be faster than walking. And if it doesn't work, worst thing that can happen is you'll take a swim in the lake. I haven't quite summoned the courage to test it myself. But don't worry, it's completely safe.
Thanks so much, Galerius.
Probably.
Thank you.
All right. See you around.
So interesting. There is a reference to... I'm going to hit pause a lot because oh boy, do we have a lot to talk about. Where to even start? I'm going to hit pause because I think it's really possible that we have a sort of background ticking timer the minute we exit the shrine. Does that timer keep ticking down? First off, does it exist? We'll find out. Or does the game like trigger the election scene in some other way? I'm not sure. Does the timer pause during conversation? I'm not sure. Does the timer pause on this screen? Probably, but again, I'm not sure. Let's find out. So it also turns out they do reference... like I have dialogue options, meaning that I can say, hey, I've been here before, and then change things. I wonder if this zip line is to save us time because of that timer in the background. Here is my list of immediate goals. I would like to go meet Desius. Also, I wonder if it pauses in the inventory screen too. I'd like to go meet Desius because we barely got a conversation last time. About the medicine that Desius didn't hand over to Lucretia to save Yulia. Yeah. Oh my god, we also have to keep an eye out for the mystery rheumatism patient. Oh my god, we have so much to do. But first off, let's try the zipline, right? Oh. The bag. I wondered what that was for. That's to say, to sort of, hey, look, I'm faster than you. It's like the to stop you. Don't steal anything. Don't hurt anyone. Don't. Whoever wrote this didn't get a chance to finish, evidently. Interesting. This wall kind of looks interesting. I wish I could go over it. Right here last time, we encountered a character as we walked by with Galerius. Can I not get through here because you're blocking the way? Oh my god. We haven't even really talked about it because it happened right at the end of the last episode. We've confirmed that the gods, or the overarching power, is real. Are real. They are watching us. And the many shall pay for the sins of the one, or whatever the line is. Because that definitely happened. Here, let's go this way. Hold up. Let's go this way. The deep voice spoke to us. This way, this way, this way. Where does this stairs go? This is the election place. Okay. The many shall suffer for the sins of the one. There we go. Old scroll. An old scroll in which the author makes the case against the existence of the Golden Rule. By Duratas the Younger. As per our custom, I shall begin by paying my respects to the god responsible for this city. For our continued prosperity, and this says God singular. For our continued prosperity and tranquil seclusion, he deserves our admiration, but here I must depart from custom, for his attempt at imposing strict rule upon us is oppressive and overreaching, and deserving of our contempt. Who among us has not awoken at night in a cold sweat, fearing some sort of accidental transgression of the Golden Rule? All of us must accept that we are all capable of error, whether from a momentary lapse in judgment or a conscious decision based on faulty reasoning. I like that. The second alternative there is really interesting. We all make, this person says we all make mistakes. We all commit sins. Not because we're bad people, but because we're capable of error. Either we make a bad minor choice in the moment, or we don't have full information. Doesn't a world that asks us not to sin sort of base itself on the idea that we would have perfect information at all times so that we know not to sin? Yet the great threat, the sword of Damocles, that we live under is, I believe, merely a deception, and I shall prove it to you. Let me begin by dismissing the counter-arguments. First, it may be argued that the inscription stating the many shall suffer for the sins of the one is evidence that the Golden Rule is real. But that is logically unsound, for we cannot assume the writers knew any more than we did. That this message was inscribed does not make it true, any more than if I were to inscribe, Duratas the Younger is a god in the bedroom. Second, it may be argued that the statues in this place are evidence that the Golden Rule is real. You need not remind me of that. It was I who discovered them all around the city. It was I who collected them, placed them in a handcart, and placed them in niches in the niches in which they sit today. You decorated the city. I don't think Duratas is on our list of people, right? This is probably not a current citizen. It's probably this person right here, but we'll see. I will not soon forget them, and yet I refuse to leap to the conclusion that they were once real people. There is simply no evidence to support that conclusion. You don't have evidence, but I do. The statues speak to me. When we read the story of Venus, and also I watched you all get hit by the arrows from the gods and turned into gold. Although technically I don't think I saw that because I was running for my life to the shrine of Proserpina. But when we read the story of Venus bringing Pygmalion sculpture Galatea to life, do we not believe it is true? Sorry, we do not believe it is true. Why should we take a different view here? Ultimately, these arguments are just that. After years of living in fear, there's only one way for me to prove that the Golden Rule is a falsehood, and that is through action. Friends, I do apologize in advance for this, but one day you will see this moment as a turning point in our city's history. Let us see once and for all if the Golden Rule is real, as I strike one of you with my fist. Well, I wonder where you got placed. If we see somebody who's a golden statue and is about to swing their fist, then we know. Man, I'm just going to keep exploring here. I know we got to go. He watches through their eyes. I know we need to go speak to Desius. He watches through their eyes. Who is he? Damocles? Damocles? Taking a drink? Okay. Graffiti? Ulpius loves Scintilla. Corrected to Ulpius killed Scintilla. Ulpius I have not even written down yet. Okay. Ulpius graffiti. I'm going to write this down in my notebook. Loved or killed Scintilla. A clue. Am I just playing a adult version of Blue's Clues? My handy dandy notebook? Or am I playing a handy dandy version of Scooby-Doo? Let's see here. Let's check a couple things. This is alphabetical. The name of the writer of that scroll is not in here. So that's from somebody in the past. That was a past iteration of this city or something. Then let's go to Ulpius real quick, just to reference our notes. What do we know about Ulpius? Commoner, debt bondsman to Malleolus, in the villa, middle of the villa. Okay. These butterflies. A stone grate with holes in it. Perhaps there's another layer of the city underneath the forum. Okay, that's what we should call this place, the forum. That makes sense. It's really sort of pretty place. Okay, nothing here yet. Arch up there. Anything else in the forum? Grates everywhere. Any more graffiti? Secret little back hallway. There's not really a secret at all. This is where Lucretia and Yulia are. Okay. And who are you and what are you doing here? Rufius. Listen, I have to do one thing at a time here. We gotta look for Desius. Which means that I need to put this one on my thing. Desius is here. Okay. This is definitely earlier in the day.
Whatever's in that great temple up there on the bluff, I bet it's worth a fortune.
Great temple. There? Is that where Naevia locked herself inside? We've already explored Desius' shop. I thought. Yeah, this is the shopping list where he's going to get a bunch of stuff after he escapes. Hi, Desius. Let's chat.
Salve, stranger, and welcome to our idyllic little slice of the Empire. I'm Desius.
Desius. What's your story?
You mean how did I end up here? That is a lengthy tale.
Let's hear it.
All right. Well, you see, I'm in the business of procuring rare and precious objects liberated from the enemies of Rome. Mostly sculptures, vases, the occasional slave, fetch a magnificent price in Roman high society. Had myself a nice little shop in Rome just off the forum. Lots of foot traffic and close to the docks. Good place to be when the fires broke out. See, about 7 months ago, half of Rome caught on fire. Everyone who couldn't get to an outer gate was running for the river, open to escape by barge. So I gathered my coins and some priceless vases into a cart and had my most loyal slave girl, pretty young thing named Acantha, push it for me. All the way down to the river, I'm elbowing for a stampede of people, turning back now and then to make sure she hasn't legged it with my valuables. But, to my surprise, we make it. And I see this barge loading up, and it's so full it's almost sinking. But the captain's happy to take my coin. So I start boarding, and then he puts his hand on my chest and he says, "No, too heavy. The cart or the girl." So I did what anyone would have done.
You chose the cart, didn't you? I was just getting ready to say, I wonder if Acantha is on the list of people who live in this town. And there's no way that she is, because there's no way Desius chose Acantha. You chose the cart, didn't you?
Of course I chose the cart. I mean, I can always buy a new slave girl if I still have my money.
Yikes.
So I put my hand on the cart, and I guess she realised what was happening because those pretty black eyes of hers go all wide. And in one swift motion, she topples the whole bloody thing into the Tiber.
There you go, Acantha. You took her with you after all?
No, I dived in after it, of course.
You got in the river.
Paying attention, that was a bloody fortune. Only, I guess I must have hit my head or something, because everything went black. When I came to, I'd washed up on the riverbank, not far from here, with nothing in the world but a single silver coin.
A single silver coin. I had a single silver coin in my pocket, correct? I'm gonna write that down in terms of my we're taking notes on the past. The fire, people fall in the river. Why these people specifically? Not sure. Single silver coin in pocket. Is that a thing we share in common type of deal? Sounds like you got what you deserved.
I couldn't agree more. I mean, sure, I'd lost a few thousand denarii, but I've already made it back, and this place is a veritable treasure trove. Look around you. There must be more gold in here than in the treasury of Rome. If I can just figure out how to get it out of here.
Oh, my lord. Do you know a way out of here?
I'm afraid not. If you're desperate, I did hear that Aurelia down at the tavern claims to know of a way out, but
okay.
I'm not sure I trust her. Some people here are a little shady for my liking.
We'll put Aurelia on the list and say knows a way out. We're gonna have notes on every single person in this game by the end of it, I'm sure. Desius, so far, what I've written is he marked up drugs. He is a snake, quote unquote, and he's obsessed with money. Really? I hadn't noticed.
Oh yeah, gotta watch out. Old Desius has got your back though.
At least Desius is a little bit predictable. Is there a course of action that will make Desius rich? That's the action that he'll choose. What do you think about the golden rule?
It's terrible for inflation is what it is. There's so much gold just lying around, it's practically worthless. At least down here. Of course, I have an idea for generating real wealth, but what I need is a bow. Just a simple composite bow. I've scoured this city from top to bottom with no luck. But if you happen to find one, bring it to me and we'll talk.
Hasn't the magistrate banned weapons?
Oh, well, technically yes, but that just means you'll need to be a little discreet.
Why does he need a bow? I'll see what I can do. Who are you going to vote for? The funny thing is, I know that you eventually vote for Malleolus.
Malleolus? I mean, Sentius couldn't even keep his daughter safe. What hope does he have of protecting us?
I'd like you to vote for Sentius.
Not going to happen.
Interesting. Okay. So we're discovering a mechanic. You might be able to convince a person to change their vote, but not Desius. I need some silphium resin.
Certainly. All I ask is a reasonable price of 1,000 denarii.
You're price gouging over life-saving medicine. What's wrong with you?
Oh, it's perfectly legal. Simply a question of supply and demand, I'm afraid. Take it or leave it.
How about I just take it instead?
Well, if you did that, you'd break the golden rule, and we'd share the same fate as the last lot who lived here. Is that what you want?
Is that what you want? If not, then hand it over now? What if we try it? This is bluffing, but this one is real. Let's do the bluff first. Is that what you want? If not, hand it over now.
Do you think I don't know a bluff when I see one? Nice try.
I'm going to try the same line of dialogue real quick and see if I can't end this time loop early. It's time to do some science, baby.
Well,
How about I take
if
it
you
instead?
did that, you'd break the golden rule.
You don't know that for sure. I'll take my chances.
Don't you dare.
Is it just the end of the dialogue? You gotta check. Is there a pickpocket option? Do you have any pockets? Do you have a key for this lock? For this thing? I'm just sneaking. I'm just sneaking for a second real quick.
The many shall suffer for the sins of the one.
Let's see if we can watch. Okay. Oh, that's new. Okay, that's new. Oh, buddy. Ah! Ah! Uh-oh. Uh-oh, we're dead. We're dead. Jump in the thingy! The thingy! Oh, I can only take it one way, of course. Okay. Okay, very interesting. Uh-oh! I'm gonna die, I'm gonna die, I'm gonna die, I'm gonna die. Dodge and weave, dodge and weave, dodge and weave. Sentius? What? Did I miss that last time? Did I miss Sentius turning into a skeleton last time? Oh man, I'm gonna need a bigger notebook. I'm gonna need such a bigger notebook. What in the world? Okay. So that I can't tell if what happened there. Oh boy, I got a lot of questions. It looks like my health maybe goes up over time, which is good to know. If I take some damage, I'll eventually regain my health. We're learning a lot of things all at once. Health bar, right there. Interesting. 2, golden statue / warriors shoot the arrows. I thought maybe they were raining down from the sky above. I don't think it's the golden statues of the past people who shoot the arrows. I think it's new statues that appear, or new golden warriors that appear. It's really kind of incredible to have discovered the golden statues for the first time. It's cool to have discovered what the people are always fleeing from in their statues, in their dying moment. These people with the arrows. Stealing. Apparently. Oh, do we do some more science? Stealing immediately made it happen. Stealing had a red indicator on it when I stole the key. Is there a way to get away with stealing? Or is stealing just... It's the question we've been talking about. How omniscient are these gods? That encounter leads us to think probably relatively omniscient, right? I'm going to need a new piece of paper. All right. Forgotten City, new page. We're going to do some overarching... My notebook's a little bit of a mess, so we'll write why is Sentius a skeleton? That would suggest that time like skips forward in that moment, right? Kind of. But like it would skip forward a lot, but that doesn't really make sense because I think time has skipped backwards. We'll need to figure that out at some point. Do I already have the zipline handlebar? I do. Now what happens when we talk?
Salve, friend. I'm Galerius. Mind telling me who you are and what you were doing in the Shrine of Proserpina?
Are you speaking English?
What? I'm
Okay.
speaking Latin. You are too, although your accent's a little strange.
Okay.
Oh, I see what you did there. Changing the...
I've come from... We've had this conversation before. You're Galerius. See you later. I already have the zipline thing. There's that person, or a person. There's another zipline from up there. Interesting, interesting. Oh, there's ziplines everywhere. Okay. Can I fall off of the zipline into the water? I kind of want to try. I can fall off. Hello. Did not mean to disturb you here, gathering your water or whatever you're doing. Can I get in the water? I speak with their tongues, and he is watching. Okay. Of course, we need to go back to Desius before too long, but there's a chest here. 126 denarius. Maybe I do need to buy the actual... Oh my god, we're at that part of the game where my brain is going a million miles a minute. I climb up this. There looked like there was a chest there. Or something. Brain is going a million miles a minute, that's for sure. Look at these Skyrim fish. Okay, is there anything else hidden underneath the water? Can I get my flashlight out underneath the water? I can. Hello, friend. Oh, no. Awkward. Don't look at me. Okay. Interesting, interesting. What to do next? Can I climb up on this? I really kind of wanted to see if I could climb. Oh, maybe. Maybe, but not particularly successfully. Damn it. Okay. Oh. So, maybe we do need to collect 1,000 denarius to pay... Oh, Lord. To pay for the medicine. Sorry, my brain is entertaining so many ideas at once. Okay. So I just really wish there was a greater amount of FOV. There is. I think higher is better. Yeah? For what my purposes. Yes, it looks like it. Okay. One thing at a time here. I'm getting a little overwhelmed, but only in the best way. One thing at a time. Let's go to Desius. I want to try. Oh, man. I have a lot of different ideas. I kind of want to try.
Wonder how much one of these statues is worth on the outside.
They said the priestess. When you say the priestess, do you mean Navia? I kind of want to try seeing if I can steal again to test this omniscient question. I was already crouched, so that doesn't appear to have changed much. Oh, that was creepy.
Vergil, how much would you want to make me a bow?
For the last time, Desius, I'm not making you a bow.
But why?
You know why.
But how am I going to defend myself against someone else with a weapon?
There are no other weapons in the city. We all went along with the magistrate's weapons ban, so it wouldn't be an issue.
That's why I've got to get in first before someone else beats me to it.
Oh, man. Okay. I guess the question is sort of like, what do we want to test? What kind of science do we want to do? Let's examine this real quick. If we hit steel, I'm sure we're dead. This is the silphium resin, a bottle of
Whatever's in
silphium
that
resin.
great temple up there on the bluff, I bet it's worth a fortune.
An extremely valuable ancient Roman remedy for various afflictions. We'll leave the item for sure, for sure. I can't think of a way to steal this key without being... Like, I was thinking maybe we close this door. I'm not sure if we... Sorry, I need to figure out how to say this out loud. I'm not sure if we committed a crime because we were seen by someone through the doorway, or if we were seen by the gods, quote unquote. I'm 90% sure it's the second one, that we were seen by the gods. But it'd be a heck of a shame not to find a way, not just to ignore the possibility that there is a way to steal that, if that makes sense. I think for now we have to sort of leave that behind. Desius? I don't think we really have any new dialogue, right? Or we have
Salve, stranger,
dialogue
and
left
welcome
to talk
our
about.
idyllic little slice of the empire.
Let's skip. I'll be going now. Okay, we've talked about most things.
Very well. Another time.
Okay. Do I think Desius committed a crime? A sin? Probably not. Do I think he would, given the chance? Absolutely. Okay. Let's go over to Vergil. What does the graffiti say? Sinner. Okay. This is Vergil with an E, right? Vergil with an E. Sinner, according to graffiti. Here's the other thing, though. Who is writing the graffiti? And what do they even know? You know? Why are they an authority figure?
Ah, a new face. Salve, and welcome to a little community. My name's impossible to pronounce for most people, so you can just call me Vergil.
Sound almost German. What's your story?
Well, I'm an architect. Or at least I was back in Rome. That's probably too grandiose a term to describe what I do here. Help out with repairs and try to stop old buildings from collapsing on people. That kind of thing. But you probably don't want to hear about the ingenious architecture or mysterious history of this place.
Me? The archaeologist? Of course I want to hear all of those things. Tell me about the city's history.
Oh, I'm glad you asked. Some of these shrines were constructed hundreds of years ago, which means Romans have been arriving here for at least that long. But there's one thing that puzzles me. The oldest shrine in this avenue isn't Roman at all.
Oh,
It's Greek.
that's very interesting. Oh, that's very interesting. What does that mean?
I'm not sure. It could mean that the Romans, who first started building here, were just copying Greek architecture, which they do all the time. Or it could mean that there were Greeks living and worshipping here before the Romans arrived. Which begs the interesting question, who really built this place? And could it be far older than any of us imagine? If only there was a way we could talk to the people who came here before us. The stories they could tell.
I can talk to the people who came here before us. God, I have so many questions. There's some... Oh, I cannot wait to be at the end of this game and understand the timeline. And the whys of all of these questions. It's not as if... It does not appear as if the day that this thought experiment of a city was created was the day that Rome was on fire. Because all of these people arrived on that day, but people had been here for hundreds of years before that, and frankly, there's Greek architecture here That's a problem on the front end of the timeline. On the back end of the timeline, I don't think my character, Little Indigestion, was in Rome during the fire because I got offered a gun, which suggests that time is way, many reasons, but it suggests that I have a flashlight. Time has passed. So why am I here? Why has no one in the meantime arrived? City's architecture.
Gladly. Personally, my favorite thing about this place is the aqueducts. Those series of adjoining arches. They're an ingenious feat of Roman engineering with a very practical purpose. They take fresh water coming from outside the city and distribute it all across the chasm. It's funneled below the palace and into a cistern beneath the great temple. Some of it flows down into another cistern beneath the villas, and the rest is funneled to the shrine of Proserpina, where it fills the lake and allows us to fish and farm.
I think in my list of characters, it says that somebody was missing in the cistern or something like that. I need to take a look at that again. There's a reference to the cistern, I think, in that document of citizens, basically. I think that's why that dialogue option right there exists, to sort of say, the cistern, the grates below the city, look beneath the city. They bring water into the city. Could we use them to escape?
Hey, not so loud. Just talking about that could anger the gods for all we know. I'm not saying it's impossible, but you'd have to find a way inside somehow. Just, please, try to be a bit more discreet about it.
Water under the bridge into the upper cistern. Sure, cool. Tell me about the temple up on the bluff. We have the cistern beneath and the temple up above.
You mean the Great Temple? This one's a bit of a mystery. Given the way it's positioned so prominently, looking down on us, it's clear that whoever built it felt it was the most important temple in the city. Unfortunately, someone else went out of their way to keep its purpose a mystery. You see, usually a temple is dedicated to a particular god, like Proserpina or Diana or Apollo. Usually, that god is obvious.
An
But
unknown
in this
god.
case, it's unknown. There's an obelisk out the front, which probably used to bear the name of this unknown god. But it appears some barbarian defaced it.
Barbarian.
And of course we can't get inside because it's locked up tighter than the Temple of Saturn in Rome. And that contains the treasury. So we're all left wondering, which god is that temple dedicated to? And could it be the one responsible for the Golden Rule?
It has to be.
Unless
It's gotta
somebody
be.
figures out a way inside, I suppose we'll never know.
Is that not where Nevia got locked in, or locked herself inside? I'm pretty sure it is. Interesting. Oh, who is this god? Who is the great temple built to honor? Okay.
Of course.
Do you know a way out of here?
You wouldn't believe how often the new ones ask that question. But I'd tell you the same thing I tell everyone else. There are much worse places to live out your days. You might have a few sleepless nights thinking about the Golden Rule, but once you get used to the fear, knowing that a single slip-up could cost you everything, it's not too bad. Nothing new to me.
Not
anyway.
too bad. Sure. What do you mean? Wait. Yeah, what do you mean? Nothing new to me?
Oh, I just mean I grew up in the Batavi tribe, far to the north in Novio Magus, and learned to expect a bit of hostility.
Batavi.
They
Interesting.
weren't nearly as tolerant as the Romans.
Okay. From the Batavi tribe, which was not as tolerant as Romans. What do you think about the Golden Rule?
Some people say it's divine, the work of a god, but I'm not so sure. It just seems so flawed to me. Like it's distinctly...
I love
human.
that idea.
I mean, once you've been here long enough, you'll notice people doing things that just seem so wrong to you. But this so-called god doesn't seem to care, which means one of two things. Either you don't know the difference between right and wrong, Or this unknown god doesn't. And I'm pretty sure I know the difference. Do you?
Well written. That is some very interesting dialogue. I love the way you phrased it. I was thinking, Vergil, I was thinking of it more as, is it even possible for us mere mortals to comprehend this god's version of justice? Is that where the where the disconnect is happening? You know, why Desius can withhold life-saving medicine for profit when he does not need more money? It appears to me, and yet I cannot steal something. Is it because I, as Vergil says, is it because I don't know the difference between right and wrong, or this god does not know the difference between right and wrong? The way I would have phrased it is, or is it because this god's understanding of justice or right and wrong, or morality, whatever, is so above, beyond my understanding that I am simply operating with less information than I could be. I think I understand the difference between right and wrong, but I'm not sure. I don't know. I think so.
Good. Then I hope you'll agree that there are only two ways of dealing with unfair rulers. The first is to leave. The second is to remove the ruler from power.
Okay.
And it seems leaving may not be an option.
When you say ruler, do you mean God? You mean God. How do you remove a god from power?
Good question. It's best if I say no more, but I hope you'll give it some thought.
Oh my god, so interesting. This is the person that someone thinks is the sinner. Why does someone think that?
Look, I haven't done anything wrong, if that's what you're thinking. Somebody just has a problem with my preference for male company.
Interesting. You like men?
Hey, nothing gets by you, huh? Sorry, that was mean. Yes, I like men. And when you grow up in the north, as I did, in the city of Noviomagos, you expect a bit of hostility. The Batavi are not known for their tolerance. I saw enough friends killed or driven away to know the cost of not keeping your personal affairs to yourself. So I hid who I was for, what was it, nearly 10 years? Watching what I said and where I looked. But that kind of fear eats away at you slowly, until living isn't any better than the thing you were afraid of. Needless to say, since I'm now living underground, halfway across the known world, with an assumed name, my openness didn't go down well among the enlightened folk of the Batavi.
Yeah, I guess the question is, how did you arrive here specifically? I'm sorry to hear that.
Nice of you to say, but not necessary. In any case, the Romans are far more accepting, and among them, I get to be who I am. Or at least, I thought that was the case. It seems I was wrong.
Do you know who's writing this graffiti?
It's not just graffiti.
Okay, so you might be the
I
key
have quite a collection of handwritten notes too.
to figuring out who it
The
is.
strange thing is, I keep my personal affairs to myself. I've never really been interested in any of the men here. Not my type. So I'm not sure what I could have done to upset this person. If I had to guess, I'd say it's probably one of those cultists.
Okay, so who is graffitiing? Cultists? Cultists?
Strange bunch. They insist there's only one god, and that he considers my nature a sin. Can you believe that? If there are any of them here, they won't admit it. Not since they supposedly burnt down half of Rome last year and went into hiding. All I know is, if these threats keep escalating, eventually my secret admirer is going to cross a line and break the golden rule.
Now, reading between the lines here, and the only reason I'm questioning if I'm right here at all is just because of my lack of historical understanding of the times. No, I'm 99% sure this is correct. When he says cultist, he means Christians, suggesting there is only one God, and he does not approve of Vergil's homosexuality. You have to say that. I mean, that is really funny. My brain went cultists and went a lot of different directions. And then, of course, the whiplash of realizing that to the Romans, the cultists, interesting. Very interesting. I love that. It also answers my question about why some people keep saying the god. It might not answer my question. I wonder if anyone here in this community is a Christian and believes in one God. I did have some people in dialogue saying God, not uppercase G, but singular God versus plural gods. But I thought that might be a reference to the one God of this place, or the God of the Great Temple, or whatever. Anyways, let me keep looking into this for you.
What? Really? I didn't expect that. But thanks. It's always a pleasure to meet someone so selfless. I'm glad you arrived when you did. I'd start by figuring out who the cultists are.
There we go.
Or maybe ask around among the merchants here. Someone who lives or works in the forum must have seen something. But if you find them, please don't hurt or humiliate them. I suspect they're just confused.
Confused, huh? Interesting. I'll get red on it.
Come back and let me know what you find.
Oh, I forgot. When you click I get red on it, that changes your that changes the clue. Okay, the active quest. I want to check Vergil's place, and then I want to frankly go back to Desius to see what dialogue I just opened up from this this quest. Vergil, do you really want to be responsible for the sin that destroys us all? Jesus Christ. A Roman fire shovel made of bronze. It smells like ash. Anything else over here? Denarius and an accusatory note, which I can examine. They may not see you yet, but I want you to know I see you. Okay, I'm happy we looked in the chest there. Another accusatory note. I know who you are and what you want. Turn away from this path before we all suffer for your sins. Very intriguing. Also sad, but intriguing. Let's go speak to Desius to see what we opened up here.
How'd you do?
How'd you do?
Ah,
I love
back
the
again, I
voice
see.
acting of these people. Any idea who's threatening Vergil?
I don't, I'm afraid. But I did overhear Fabia telling Georgius she saw something. She was headed to the baths not long ago.
Okay. Let me write down Fabia. Quote, saw something about Vergil. Told who? Who did you say?
Very well. Another time.
You said Galerius?
Back again, I see.
I can
don't,
get
I'm afraid.
Georgius. Okay.
But I did overhear Fabia telling Georgius she saw something. She was headed to the baths not long ago.
So does that mean that Fabia is, or that Georgius is? Okay.
Very well.
Perfect.
Another time.
I think that actually satisfied the quest, so I don't think I actually need to talk to this other person for. You still have clothes on. Wait a second. Your clothes are not gold. Wait. You sell fabrics. That's why. I understand. You clothed this person as sort of a like advertisement for your shop. That's funny. Okay. Let's speak to you as well. Is there anything else around here? Also this building right here. We haven't been in yet, right? He will guide you. Who is she?
Ah, a fellow traveler from a faraway land.
Georgius. Hey, it's you. What did Fabia tell you? Hello, let's talk.
Greetings, I'm Georgius. It gladdens me to see another foreigner in our midst. We must stick together, you and I. And I must say, my sartorial friend, your clothing is most extraordinary. Leather boots in place of sandals, trousers with precise
Wait till you see my
stitching,
flashlight.
and such a curious design. I have traveled distant trade routes from the markets of Damascus to the farms of India, and never have I seen anyone dressed quite like you. Tell me, I must know, from which exotic part of the world do you hail?
My nation does not exist yet.
Is this a riddle, or perhaps you mean to say you feel like you are ahead of your time? I feel the same way. Another reason for us to stick together. We will have much time here to get to know one another. But for now, do you require assistance? I know you do not require clothing, so information perhaps?
Absolutely information. What's your story?
My story? How kind of you to ask. I am a tailor and I run the humble shop in the forum.
Why did you set up a tailor shop here? Did we ask Vergil how he ended up here?
Anything you like.
Be
I
right
hope
back.
that our paths cross again soon, my friend.
I wanna be as thorough as possible, and if I leave this for later, I will forget. Skip through this part if we can. Nope.
Oh,
Not
that's
yet. I'm
all
still
right.
looking.
I'm sure it'll take time. Was there something else you wanted to talk about?
What's your story? Oh, we had lots of dialogue still.
Well, I'm an architect. Or at least I was.
Yeah, we've
back
heard
in
this
Rome.
before.
Help out with repairs and. But you.
Oh, you didn't say about how you died, or fell
I
into the
like
river,
that.
or whatever.
We're going to get on well, friend.
Ah, interesting. I need to know how. I'm gonna write that down. Was he in Rome during fire? Every piece of information we can get on these hypotheses about our citizens here, the better. And we're lacking information here. Who are you gonna vote for?
Well, Malleolus is talking about loosening some of the restrictions in this place. And while it's all a bit vague, at least he has a vision.
I actually don't know if Vergil votes for Malleolus. It'll be interesting to see. Is there anything I can do to change that?
My vote isn't for sale, if that's what you're asking.
I wrote down Galerius, Horatius, and Desius's votes last time, but that's it.
Nice to talk to you.
Okay. Back to
Greetings and
Georgius.
salutations. Hello again, my sartorial friend. What is on your mind?
I like Georgius's voice a lot. Your story.
My story? How kind of you.
Why set up a tailor shop here?
You mean to say, with all the turmoil and terror of the Golden Rule, and so few customers, why bother setting shop at all?
Yeah.
I'll tell you, it is precisely because of the Golden Rule that I wish to remind my friends of the importance of looking one's best. I say, the more of our customs we preserve down here, the more we can preserve a semblance of normality, the better our chances of keeping our heads. Don't you agree?
Fair enough. I don't know that I agree, but sure, fair enough. How'd you end up here?
A good question. A very good question indeed. And I would be happy to tell you if only I could remember it clearly myself.
Why don't you tell me what you do remember?
I remember I had just been to Rome to sell an extraordinary selection of wares, and drowning in coin, I decided to celebrate my success. I rented a prestigious villa by the Tiber, invited over a few select friends, and we began making our way through some of the most exquisite wine money could buy. Quite a lot of it, in fact. Now, I have had visions and awoken in strange places before. I have even found myself naked in the desert sands more than once, but none of that compares to this. This time, I remember people screaming. then falling into a void as empty as time before creation, gasping for air, and then nothing. When I regained my faculties, I was lying naked by the banks of the Tiber, gods know how many miles from my villa.
I'm gonna write down drowned in Tiber ? He definitely fell into the Tiber, gasping for air. I think he might have drowned in the Tiber. Drunk. You floated down the Tiber?
Indeed. I'm lucky I was carrying a little extra weight. I believe it kept me afloat. In any case, it seems I'd been rescued and resuscitated by a benevolent stranger.
Named what?
I went to find firewood for his campfire, stumbled across a cave, and discovered that trapdoor temple. And here I am.
So it's possible Karen presents themselves differently to different people? I'm gonna write that down. Karen of my entrance to this game was very modern looking in terms of like clothing, as far as I remember. Haircut, all that jazz. Anyways, let's talk about something else. No, if I were in the game, I'd ask you a million more questions. Like, did you discover this temple on the exact same day as all these other people?
Anything you like.
Like, did you all arrive together? Do you know a way out of here?
Shh! Not so loud. What are you playing at?
Do you know a way out or not? Sorry, did I say the wrong thing?
Have you not been told about the last attempt?
The last attempt?
Oh, then I suppose this duty falls to me. It is a long story.
I'm not going anywhere.
Aha, you are witty. I like that.
You are witty.
Of course, the first question any of us asks when we first arrive is, how do I escape? It is only natural after all. And scaling the cosmic wall is out of the question, for it is simply too steep and too far. But as they say, if the wind fails, use the oars. And here the second option is to leave the way we came in, through the shaft above the bathhouse. See? The shaft is quite high, but if one gathered up enough wood, one could make a series of ladders and climb one's way out.
Why hasn't anyone done that yet?
They have. I am getting to that. There was an attempt made by resourceful fellows who lived here some years ago. They even decided to keep records of their escape attempts for posterity. Unfortunately, as soon as they began to carry the first ladder down the hallway, they heard a godlike voice saying the entire city, and that, tragically, is where their tale ends. So it seems that to merely attempt escape is to invite the wrath of whichever god oversees this place. And so I say, it is best to not even discuss it aloud.
Interesting. Got it. So somebody tried to climb the chasm, or the like chamber. What do you think about the golden rule?
Ah, yes. The many shall suffer for the sins of the one. As a Greek, this is nothing new to me.
Georgius is Greek.
How our gods operate.
Why do you say that?
Have you not heard the tale of the god Hades? He was the first to learn this dreadful lesson when he abducted Persephone and imprisoned her in the underworld. When Demeter, the mother of Persephone, learned of this, she did not punish Hades, the guilty one. Instead, she changed the climate of Earth so that it became hot and dry. Nothing grew. The grain turned to empty husks and the rivers dried up. Innocent people died by the tens of thousands until at last the other gods were forced to act lest they have no worshippers left. So yes, we know this rule. This has always been the case. The Golden Rule has merely brought it into focus.
The golden rule has sort of codified it. What can we do about it?
If we are to survive, I say we must each keep the simple wisdom of Thales of Miletus, first of the 7 sages of Greece, who said, avoid doing what you would blame others for doing.
Oh. Oh, we're back in philosophy class. It's sort of the like, what is the good? The good is what you would ask others to do. What is wrong or incorrect? that which you would ask others not to do. Sounds simple enough.
It does, doesn't it? But it is not enough for us to do this alone. For even if 99% of us adopt this principle, that will never be enough. Sadly, no matter how well we protect ourselves, the life's work of many good people can be undone in the blink of an eye by a single selfish act.
Yeah, this is hell. I mean, you all are living here until I find a way to fuck up, and then we're taken back in time and you relive those moments, although they are different. I've seen it happen.
Ah, the voice of experience. I am sorry for your loss, my friend. But on a lighter note, I will say one thing for the Golden Rule. For all their grim and haunting poses, these golden statues do make magnificent models for my clothing, do they not?
Who are you going to vote for?
That, my friend, is quite the dilemma. But after some reflection, I'm leaning toward voting for Malleolus.
Is your vote
I do not enjoy
for
the
sale?
thought of another visit from Domitius if I voted the wrong way.
Okay. You're just directly saying that Domitius is, bullying people into voting for him. I mean, it makes sense. Anything I can do to change that?
Nothing comes to my mind, my friend.
Who's threatening Vergil?
This is troubling, is it not? I'm afraid I have no idea. It is ridiculous, though. Vergil is a fine man. But my young friend Fabia confided in me that she saw someone leaving graffiti on his shop front last night. Perhaps you should ask her about it.
I thought that it was Fabia saw Vergil in some way, shape, or form. Doing something damning, and then told Georgius so that either Fabia or Georgius would be the suspect. But no. Fabia saw someone writing graffiti.
I hope that our paths cross again soon, my friend.
Very interesting. Georgius, do you have anything I can take or set or steal? Collection of dyes extracted from plants and insects. You have a chest here with denarius in it. Why does everyone have 127 denarius?
You look well, my sartorial friend.
I gotta look up what sartorial means. I don't remember. I think
This part of my shop is off limits, even for you, my sartorial friend.
my sartorial friend. I think that's gonna have to do it for this episode. Thanks so much for watching. I hope that you've enjoyed it. If you did, a like or a positive comment down below in the comment section. Find me. Would greatly help us out.
Greetings and salutations.
Hi, what's up? What are you doing?
Hello again, my sartorial.
No?
I hope that our
We've learned a
paths
lot in
cross
this
again
episode.
soon, my friend.
We've met more of the shopkeepers. We've learned a little bit more of the lore of the city, that someone resides in the great, that the great temple is to an unknown god, that escape attempts have been made, and we've learned more about the past. We've also seen hints of potential future ways out. When you remove a god from power, and you find whoever it is who is speaking through the golden statues, that seems to be a different power, and maybe the solution. I don't know, but I can't wait to play some more, and I can't wait for you to continue watching. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you tomorrow. Until then, thanks so much for spending this last hour with me. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.